The very first phase is the warping phase. In this stage, a defined number of warp yarns is united in one single beam. This is a crucial phase. The pictures show an example of warping process, the so-called sectional warping. The cones are set in parallel on a rack. Every yarn from every cone converge together, and the beam's rotation creates the section. More sections create the total sections. Having the right quantity of cones available is essential to create the beam. Creating the samples requires a specific type of warping machine, called drum warping machine. It requires a limited number of cones. In this phase as well, the contribution of highly qualified workers is necessary. Double-twisted yarns are strong enough to be used directly on the loom. On the other hand, single yarns are weaker than double-twisted yarns. For this reason, the single yarn needs to be soaked into a bath first. The bath is 90% composed by potato starch, then totally natural. This process, called sizing, plastifies the yarn, which gets stronger. To sum up, once the warp is obtained, there are two options. If the yarn used is double-twisted, the warp is put straight on the loom. If it is made of a single yarn, it needs to undergo the sizing process. Now the drawing phase starts. The frames are responsible for opening the beam and consequently for the warp evolution. More in details, during this stage, the article pattern is set, namely if the item created on the loom will be a plain weave, a twill, or an Oxford. We will find this series of frames afterwards on the loom. This opening phase is technically defined as frames opening. Now it's time to enter the loom's room. There are several types of loom models. Some loom use bullets, some air jets, some water jets. Namely, water jets keep the weft moving. And, last but not least, there are rapier looms. The looms we use are mainly rapier looms, being them the most versatile for pattern fabrics production. Once the beam is fully woven, it is knotted together with the next one. All the threads are prepared. The specific device catches the single yarns and knots them together. As soon as the series of knots is completed, the old beam can be replaced by the new one. The jacquard loom allows to weave complex designs. Indeed, every single thread can follow its own development path, different from all the others. In fact, Dobby looms can command 24 threads only, while in jacquard looms, the number is 1,200 threads. A lifting hook comes down from the machine above the loom, leading directly a single warp yarn. This allows to create artistic and highly defined designs as well. If the fabric is flawless, it can access the next phase called finishing.